sleepyheads, welcome. Oh my god, my voice got low-key cracking. But yeah, welcome back to another My Furry Protogen 2. So I think what I'll do here is, yeah, first of all, don't do anything. Subscribe first, like, share to your friends and loved ones, and yeah, welcome back. What is my plan here, everybody? I'll do like, since I think I've been uploading like 6 times a week, if I'm correct. Yeah. So I don't know when I think on Friday this will be the thing and then we'll do 5 days of like I wanna hug that gator. Alright? Going back to the game, don't worry, we're doing everything we can to keep your planet safe. You already had some success, and I'm sure after we shut down the last device, your planet won't be threatened. Juno smiled at Lance, trying to cheer him up a little. Lance nodded. Thank you. Can you tell me what the problem is? What is it and why is it here? He nodded towards the device. June and I looked at each other again, trying to find the right words to explain everything as clearly and calmly as possible. But no matter how you worded it, it still sounded scary. Sorry if you heard something or someone, because I think someone outside just, I don't know, yelled, I guess. I remember what it was like to know that your home, the world you'd always known, was in danger. Comment down below, what would you think if it's like the world, it's not gonna end, but it's like a chance that it can end? What would you be doing right now? The thing is, there is a certain threat. I found out about it before I even met Brizzy. I did not see that period right there, sorry about that. I call this thing an anomaly. It happened from planet to planet, causing great harm to worlds, poisoning them and destroying them. In an attempt to catch up with the anomaly, I ended up on the planet where Brizzy lived, but when I got there, I couldn't defeat the thing. Lance shifted his questioning gaze to me. Did your planet have these things on it too? Were you able to get rid of them in the end? Oh no, man, I don't want to spill the beans, but I'm about to crack his head open. Look at this. Juno was silent, letting me choose whether to tell the truth or lie. It wasn't an easy choice, but I couldn't help myself. But man, my planet is gone, reduced to space, rocks, and debris, you know. Then Juno, we did everything we could to help. Juno then suggested that I fly with her to help the other planets and find the cause of the anomaly, and I agreed. So you left your home to travel too, huh? I grinned, shrugging my shoulders. I mean, before I met her, I didn't even know there was anything beyond our planet and sun. Our mythology had nothing about space in it. Someone's revving up their car, their engines, as some people rev up your engines. Other people say. If you're a racer, but if you're just using your other normal typical like sedans or cars or whatever, you usually don't do that. If you were trying to keep the oil and gas flowing, I'm saying. I live in a village where everyone from a small to large. I'm not reading all this again, Brizzy. We've already discussed this. Lance already knew some of this information, but I never told him the whole story about my past before that. Our elders made special celebrations at festivals to honor Heavenly Mother and her little brother. When I was a child on my 3rd birthday, the elders declared that I was the chosen one because Lith had told them so. Allegedly, he came down to them in the form of a celestial bird and told them I would save our planet. Lance be like, my man, your elders were smoking the hoo-ha, if you know what I'm talking about. I grinned to myself as I thought back on it. It was strange to think about the past now. It seems so long ago. Not 2 years ago, but 20. Memories of living in a golden cage in confinement, carrying on my shoulders the title of Chosen One that I was not ready for and did not desire at all. All of this was overshadowed by the anomaly, the virus, and the destruction of the planet. Now, when drama of a universal scale was unfolding before me, all my previous problems seemed like nonsense. Childish babble, but once it had been important to me. Once it was all I lived for. And then what? How did your chosenness manifest itself? Well, I was treated like the most fragile, important thing on earth. I was forbidden to spend my time the way I wanted to. The elders controlled everything, even my daily routine. What time to wake up and go to sleep, what to eat, what to study. I was being prepared for an important event, though no one had any idea what was in store for us. Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't an event that we could have prevented. I think that's the big thing we could take out for this. On my 28th birthday, I was supposed to be the ruler of the village and protect it from some terrible tragedy, but I didn't believe in all that malarkey. So on my 28th birthday, I just took off and ran away. I was not allowed to go outside the settlement, so I saw the forest for the first time, and that's where I met Juno. I smiled, shifting my gaze to Juno, who had been listening to my story the whole time, even though she knew it perfectly. That's great! Did Juno just fly in to investigate the anomaly? Yes, I stopped the planet because I saw the anomaly activity. At the same time, I wanted to explore the area because the planet where Brizzy lived, we called it, 29913, had never had space travelers. I need a guide to tell me more about the planet and help me with the expedition, and Brizzy just happened to get in the way. Oh man, what a fate, huh? Yeah. Does that to you. And he lied about knowing the whole area. I laughed awkwardly, feeling my face bake slightly. Well, I lied a little. Come on, man, a little. But it was the reason we got close to each other. Yep, when I found out that he had lied, I was terribly angry, but I couldn't let him go back to his village. We quickly became interested in each other. Dan smiled and nodded. I already noticed that you guys are in love. But honestly, I never realized there could be couples like that. Well, couples between different species, I mean. In the universe, nothing is impossible. I mean, listen, man, listen. I'm not saying I'm down bad, but I'm just saying. Someone's like once again revving their engines. I don't know who's doing that outside my house. I'm just saying, if like space, if like aliens not really in a bad way, like same thing what we call to foreigners if we go from a different country. Let's say it's not your home country, right? You're technically an alien there. Like aliens from space, right? If we convene and they are actually nice. I guess I'm trying to like make a Korean thought here. Is like would you take the opportunity to have an interspecies wife or something, or relationship? Not wife, relationship. And what about you? Do you have a partner? Juno looked at Lance curiously. Because he didn't tell us much about himself. We didn't know that much about him. Yeah, man, tell us. What if you're a killer? Lance smiled crookedly and shook his head when he heard the question. No, not yet. Maybe I'll meet someone out there among the stars too. Someone from another planet. We nodded, deciding not to push this topic any further. What about your legends and myths? Anything else you'd like to tell us? Besides Guargus and Yargus? Yes, we have all sorts of myths. Sorry if you're hearing my squeaky chair. Instead of gods, we have spirits. Spirits were created by nature in the sky, and no spirits are our creators. Actually, we have many spirits. Jargus and Guarg are just two of them. There's also Layara, the spirit of fire. Jostra, the spirit of the dead who helps the living to cross the boundary between worlds. According to those myths, what happens to your people after you die? Well, everyone believes differently. Some believe that the dead also become spirits, only of a weaker order. They are called yurts. Yurts help Yostra watch over the order of things in the world, the balance of life and death. Some believe that the dead go to Yurgir and live there, forgetting their earthly life. It all depends on the tribe. Some tribes believe that there is no death at all, and people just fall asleep forever. Oh my god, it's a shout out to me, asleep. This is common in the south. They do not bury or burn the bodies, but build specialized house for them called giras. We don't do that, of course. My settlement believes that after death, we become spirits, so we just burn the bodies. Allegedly, with the help of Layara, we send the dead to Yostra. That's a lot of lore. And your tribes are not in conflict with each other because they believe in different things? Then smiled and shook his head. No, why would we have conflict? It's just a matter of what you believe in more. And what do your people believe in? What happens after death in your belief? With us, it is much more prosaic. We had one common belief that after death, people go to the clouds of the Heavenly Mother to her valley and live there. Those who lived a decent life get a good job, live a pleasant eternal life in the garden, picking fruits and berries and whatever. And those who were evil and did bad things, cheated and treated others unfairly, get dirty work in the same garden. For example, cleaning cattle stalls. Lance grinned and shook his head. What a nightmare, even after death one must work. Yes, sort of. Death is thought to be merely a transition from one state to another. The soul lives on and the body remains in the earth. That sounds a little strange for me, buddy, but it's really interesting. Your stories were interesting as well. Thanks for telling them. I'm kind of liking this guy, man. He's rubbing me in a good way. Pause. Wait a minute. Get your mind out of the gutter, everybody. For those who are wanting for Corrupted Kingdoms, now we'll do it in a couple of months. I'm sorry. I want to have a bit more content to chew than just play this game. All right, we'll stop. See you guys in the next month. You know, it's kind of like edging you, my viewers, to just yeah, it's just pretty much edging. I don't like that. We fell into cozy silence, each of us thinking our own thoughts. But like it usually happens, my thoughts were slowly getting more and more depressing. Oh my god, he's like Isaac from No More Future. Or oh my god, I forgot the main big character's name in 922. You know, made by Cockhole and everything. I forgot. I can get why he'd have dark thoughts. Man, come on. If your whole life just vanished in front of your eyes. It's a different thing if you don't have memory of it. Like a complete transition to a new body in life and whatnot. Reincarnation. If it's just like, poof, it's gone. And still have all those memories. Yeah, it would press down harder. I was woken up by Juno. She plays a soft palm on my shoulder and asked in a calm voice, "Are you okay?" I nodded, distracted from my thoughts. Yeah, just thinking about something. How's it going for Pixie? Still collecting data? My phone just vibrated? Why is that? I think we'll have to wait at least a couple more hours. Lance, if you want, you can go to the jet and go to bed. There's no point in waiting for us. Lance nodded. He was already looking pretty tired. Yeah, I guess I'd better go. If anything happens, just contact me, okay? Juno nodded and told Pixie to bring the jet closer for Lance. Lance said goodnight to us once more and left the cave, carefully circling around the range of the device. Juno and I were alone, sitting next to the crackling fire. Are you sure everything's okay? I begrudgingly nodded. Yeah, it's just I remembered my parents and my home. Juno's helmet reflected a sympathetic expression on his face. I understand your pain, Brizzy. You're doing good. You're trying to do everything you can to save those who still have a chance. That's really selfless of you. Selfless? More like selfish. Only thing I've done the past 2 years was forcing you to resolve this thing with anomalies. Don't forget that I was doing that before I met you, so it's not just your mission. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I was also wondering, why does Lance want to fly away so badly? Would it be right to take him with us? Because Lance heard... Oh my god, my world's about to get destroyed. Yeah, get me out of here, man. Juno shrugged. But it's his wish, and if that's what he wants, why not? Oh my god. Don't be too gullible, my woman. But he's making a mistake. It's clear as day. How can he survive out there in a completely different world? He's completely unprepared for it. Come on, Brizzy. We picked up the pace in 2 years, my man. He's living in his own fantasies, which have nothing to do with reality. I could hear the resentment in my voice. Juno smiled softly at me. You two were not at all adapted to this different world, but still... This is different. I was forced to fly out. I had no choice as to, but... Are you saying you wouldn't fly if you had one? I frowned and shook my head. No, that's not what I meant at all. I mean, it would be... Oh, don't do this, Brizzy. Don't fumble this. Don't fumble the bag, man. It would be a lot harder for me to fly away, and I still think about it, and I tried to phrase a thought in a way that would convey my opinion to Juno and not offend her, but it didn't come out the way I had hoped for, imagined in my head. Oh my god. Oh, this guy is self-sabotaging his perfect waifu. I never thought about whether I would have left if things had turned out differently. Maybe I'd go up to the ship, watch space, and then ask Juno to stay on my planet with me. We could live somewhere far away, even in the same ship, and no one but my parents would know about it. But would Juno have stayed with me if things had turned out that way? She lived for travel, expeditions, and research. It was her life's work and the only purpose she had. I wasn't sure if she could give it all up for me just to live on my undeveloped, unremarkable planet. Damn. But I didn't talk about it, realizing that it would be a difficult question for both Juno and me. There was no point in discussing what hypothetically would happen now. It would never happen, so what was the point of bringing it up? Juno smiled softly and put her hand on my shoulder. It's okay, Brizzy, I understand. And I understand that you want to keep Lance safe. But it's his choice, not yours. If he wants to choose to leave, well, it is what it is, my man. You know, it's a free-for-all. It's a free universe. But he can't turn back time. And if he regrets it, what then? What if he realizes he made a mistake, say, in another galaxy? He doesn't know what he's doing. The silly child's dream, which in reality may turn out to be a nightmare. Let him try it at least. I just had you when I found myself in outer space. If I were on my own, I would have just gone nuts in the first few months out there. And in my eyes you see. What makes you think Lance will be alone? He'll be with us first and then he'll meet someone at the station. There's a huge gathering of beings from all over the universe in places like this. Who knows who he'll meet there? What if he gets into trouble? What if he runs into... come on, man. Calm down, Brizzy. You don't tell me about space pirates, criminals who travel through space and live a life of debauchery, setting sentient and non-sentient beings as slaves or food, robbing... I mean, if he's with someone, it is what it is, you know? It's a dire ride scenario. It's pretty much whatever... That does make you think, you know? We didn't see them on our route, but they were often caught at stations, especially the stations where there are galaxies like ours, where there were no space states or communities who nailed them. We can't protect Lance from everything, my man, and we can't predict what's gonna happen next. You yourself have suffered your whole life from having choices made for you by those who thought they knew better. Damn, bars! You don't want to do that to Lance, to take away his choices, do you? Even if he makes a mistake, chooses wrong and regrets it later, it's not your responsibility, Brizzy. And it's not mine either. It's his responsibility and everyone has to take responsibility for their actions. I sighed, realizing that Juno was right. We hadn't forced Lance to come with us. On the contrary, he'd wanted to, and we could only do him a favor by taking him on our ship to the nearest station. Even though I thought it was a mistake and a stupid idea that Lance would eventually regret it, it wasn't my choice. But I could not escape the unpleasant feeling that we were contributing to some bad, life-threatening adventure. And talking with Juno didn't change that, only dulled it for a while. Hey, it's okay. Maybe Lance will change his mind. We got a little bit of time still. I shrugged. Yeah, I guess so. I fell into silence again, looking at the dancing flames of the fire. It was cold in the cave, the weather was getting worse as the night wore on, and even the warm thermal clothing didn't save me from the cold. After a while, my teeth began to clatter against each other. Despite the fire, Juno looked at me with concern. Are you cold? Yeah, a little bit. You want to go inside the jet? I can sit here by myself, no big deal. I shook my head confidently. Of course not. What are you talking about, woman? I'm not leaving you here alone. I don't know what could happen. I remember what had happened the last time June and I had been separated. Oh my god, I spelled separated wrong. I just did an exam. I think it was the... You're not gonna be seeing this until like Friday. But yeah, on like Tuesday, I had an exam, right? It was an essay. I was like separated. I pronounced it like separated, you know, like an ER, like spear, something like that. So I was like, my mind was absolutely telling me it's spelled as SEPA, my man. But then my heart was telling me, nah. It sounds like it's separated. It sounds like there's an E there rather than A. Damn. I think I fumbled there. Juno nodded, apparently remembering that incident too. Suddenly a sly slime appeared on her helmet and she looked at me with a squint. I think I know how to keep you warm. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, it's getting too warm here. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, everybody? You know what I'm saying. Alright. Looks like I'm gonna skip a part of this video. Juno's voice became languid and quiet, and I knew immediately what she meant. My face blushed slightly at the thought of doing it here. Are you sure it's not the best place to... Juno's finger rested on my lips, silencing me. Shh, I just want to share my warmth. Oh, we just hugged. My mind was really in the gutter right there. The way she smiled and worded it. I think she was just teasing us, my man. So I was about to say, that's insane. Why would you do it here? That's how some people die, you know? They just go YOLO and doesn't expect that a cold environment would be real cold and their bodies just go full on hypothermic shock? Hyper with an E. Oh no, I'm gonna check that later. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to that. There's this difference, right? One is based on heat, one's based on cold. As we regained our breaths, we both heard a signal from Pexe. It meant that the research was finally over. We could put the equipment away and turn off the device. Come on, let's get out of here. Juno zipped back up, tucking the soil tissues into her jacket pocket, and put out the fire. I thought I was about to end the video because, you know. We set up towards the cave exit, preparing to face the wall of howling wind and blizzard, when suddenly we heard a growl in the dark. I froze in place and Juno stopped too. We both stared intently into the darkness, trying to make out the source of the growl. Shining our flashlight in the direction we heard it coming from. Suddenly, red eyes flashed right in front of us and 3 beasts stepped into the light. They were grayish-white, with long paws and yellowish long fangs. Their red bloodshot eyes froze on us. It felt too much like something I'd seen before and sent shivers down my spine. Juno. My voice shook slightly and the sound of it made the animals huddle on the ground, preparing to jump. That's my gal right there. She's strapped, my boys. She's strapped. Juno snatched her rifle, pointing at the animals and fired, killing all 3 of them almost instantly. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Bam, bam. Rah! The bodies fell to the ground. Oh, God. The bodies fell to the ground, dark blue blood immediately staining the deep white snow. The red glow in their eyes faded, their open mouths still bubbling with saliva, but the roar was silent, ceased, leaving us with only the sound of the wind. It's just like on my planet. Go to the jets. Go to the jet, Brizzy. I need to get the bodies to the lab. I'll help you. You can't carry them all. Juno nodded begrudgingly, but it was obvious she wanted to get me to safety as soon as possible. That's my hunting boo right there, man. We walked over to the bodies. Juno took 2 by the scruff of their neck. I took the remaining 1 and we headed for the jet left by Pixie nearby. Juno, I'm not going crazy, right? It's the virus. We need to do some research first, but yes, I think it's the same one. You have a vaccine, right? Vaccine. Juno nodded. Yes, the one from your planet. We don't know yet if there are any differences. It might be useless. I'll analyze it, do some research, and then we can decide what to do next. Once back in the jet, Juno immediately dragged the bodies to the lab, and then together in complete silence, we went back to the device to disable it and retrieve all the equipment. Then we returned, closed the doors, and Juno immediately gave Pixie the order to fly up to the ship. You know what we always say? This needs an orbital hammer. The hammer of God. What about Lance? He's never been in space. We're not in space, we're in orbit. Besides, he wanted to travel. Let him get used to it. See what it's like up here. For now, I need my main lab. Alright, I gotta censor some stuff. Because they made her hella detailed this time, my man. Damn. This is eye candy for me. I'm sorry. Juno stripped off her thermal protection suit, remaining in her armor. Do you need any help? I can see how much Juno tensed, how her shoulders literally stiffened. She was obviously deep in thought. Her helmet reflected nothing but a serious, pensive expression. No need, go to bed. I'll do the research and analyze the samples in the meantime. Are you sure I can keep you company? Juno turned to me and put her palm on my shoulder. It's okay, Brizzy, really. You're tired, go get some rest. If anything happens, I'll call you right away. And tell Lance in the morning not to come to my lab unannounced. I'll give Pixie orders. Right now, he'd better not walk around the ship at all. We brought the virus here until Lance gets a vaccine. It's not safe. Yeah, man. I nodded, accepting the orders. Sandra was about to bark in like T-minus 5 seconds with someone screaming outside. Juno hugged me gently, said goodnight, and headed off towards the lab bay, closing the doors behind her. With a heavy sigh, I went to our bedroom, took a quick shower, and lay in bed, forcing myself to fall asleep. Despite the maelstrom of thoughts swirling in my head, fatigue quickly took its toll, and within minutes I fell into a deep sleep. I woke up, got out of bed, and went straight to the navigation bay, hoping to find Juno, but unfortunately she wasn't there. But I found Lance sitting in one of the chairs. He looked out of the ship's window in mesmerized silence at his own planet. As I approached my boy, I too looked at his frighteningly extraordinary beauty for a few moments. You okay, buddy? Lance didn't take his eyes off the view and responded, It's just unbelievable. It's magical. I never thought it was like this. I never thought it was so beautiful. My planet is just... It's a beaut, alright. I nodded, sitting down next to him. From space... Yeah, it wasn't it beautiful. It's a blue giant snowball freaking marble of a planet. You know, in the middle of nowhere. I think planets will 100% stand out. The more color it has with the sun, you know, the sun reflecting its color because of light, you know, light waves and everything. Space is a dark, blank canvas. And you'd see a lot of, like, things, right? A lot. Pixie told you we had to go up. Yes, it explained that it was necessary, and I'm glad this happened. That view! I can't believe I'm actually seeing it. Look at it, Brizzy. How beautiful and so quiet. I'm talking about Juno. My man, keep your eyes closed, man. And that's just our galaxy. I smile weakly. Is there a planet here too in our galaxy? Yes, though it's far away. There are many planets in the galaxy. I too was unaware of all this greatness until I met Juno and saw it all for myself. It's impossible to imagine, only to see it with your own eyes. I made myself comfortable in the chair and went silent, savoring the beauty with him. We spent long minutes in silence before Pixie called me to join Juno in the lab. Lance was immediately distracted as well and asked, "Can I come with you?" I shook my head. "Later, buddy. Juno and I will call you up, okay?" Lance nodded. He didn't seem at all upset about having to stay here from the look on his face. I mean, honestly, if I went to space, like a lot of us have never been to space, my man, because we're not in the space age fair yet. No, I mean fair. I mean, people just traveling to space and stuff. That'd be cool. We got cars and boats and planes and rocket ships to go to space, but not travel to like faraway planets, right? Like, man, we do have drones and stuff, but it would be cool to see planet Earth, a blue marble of little green hues. It would be a sight to see, definitely. Like a child watching a miracle, he turned his head back to the huge panes of the ship's windows and continued to stare. I headed towards the lab bay. Damn, my girl is tired, man. The doors were locked for security reasons. I quickly entered the code and stepped inside, immediately finding Juno sitting at one of the tables, intently studying all the materials. Stopping near her, I put my hands on her shoulder. "You didn't sleep at all, did you?" Juno shook her head. "I didn't have time for that. I studied the samples and, well, studied everything I could." "And how are the results?" Juno sighed. "I don't want to say the results are comforting, but after I scrutinized the bodies of the animals that attacked us yesterday, yep, it's the virus. It's virtually identical to the one on your planet, except for some minor changes. They are 95% similar, the other 5% being variations due to local climate conditions and difference in local nature." So this virus is actually, I think this is what happened. This virus, clearly it's man-made, it has this like base state or form, and once it reaches in the planet, it gets like, it adjusts to that planet's like climate, in its biosphere and everything. And then it slowly, small changes in a way. It would still kill most things. Just slight variations so it could infect whatever DNA or genes present in the area it's in. Variations, but you said it's the same virus. Yes, it is. It has roughly the same time of infection, the same route of infection, the same effect on the living organism. These creatures were infected at the same time about a couple days ago. Apparently they went out to hunt but didn't return to their pack. The virus made them fight back and flee. If they had returned, they would have infected the whole pack, and then we wouldn't have been attacked by just 3 of them. So what are the changes, woman? Are there any major differences that would prevent us from curing everything? The changes are mainly climate related. The virus is more resistant to cold. In addition, the time of infection and transition from stage to stage is faster. In simpler terms, the efficiency of the virus is improved. So this virus was specifically designed for this planet. Junior rubbed her chin thoughtfully. I think it's something like a mutation, a strain. Has anyone watched the vampire series, The Strain? That thing was freaky, man. It had like worms and shit. There's one single base that is modified so that the virus is ready for any conditions. On this planet, it's cold tolerance. Sorry, I needed the burp. On yours, it destroyed organics, contaminated water. It's as if the virus is adapting to the environment and exactly. That's my hypothesis as well. And what about the vaccine you gave me? Will it work? Shook her head. It would take me a while to create another vaccine based on the existing one, specifically for this strain. Damn, this is impossible then. We would need to create like tens and thousands, if not millions of vaccines, because this strain is different per planet. It would take a few hours. I think it will be ready by tomorrow morning. But we need to act as soon as possible. Go back to Wire and distribute the vaccine. It's not like we can spread the vaccine everywhere. No, but we can pour it into wells and give it to the residents and livestock. So that way they will be protected. I nodded. Juno's idea was the only right one. We'll have to let the residents know somehow. Yeah, we'll use Lance's help. With the jet, we'll be able to visit most of the settlements. There aren't many. They're mostly concentrated near the equator and down south. We can do it in a couple of days. Very encouraging. Very. I exhaled with relief, realizing that we had a good chance of protecting this planet from destruction. Juno asked Pixie to get Lance, and as soon the lab doors opened. Lance looked around in surprise, interested in the equipment and monitors, and then he came over to us sitting down in a vacant chair. He smiled uncertainly when he saw our focused faces. Something wrong? Why are you looking at me like that? June and I looked at each other and began to share what we already knew from afar. Lance listened intently without interrupting. There was no panic on his face, though there was a flicker of fear in his eyes. And you want me to talk to the whole planet on your behalf? Yes, you're one of them. You're their representative. They'll believe a lot faster than they'll believe us. But what if they don't believe me? It's okay, man. My gal here is strapped. They don't want to open their borders. We'll force them. Just like how the good old US of A did to, the warring state spirit of Japan. Actually, not warring states, because pretty much they already had the shogun and all that shit. It was more like they didn't want to have any outsiders or foreign trade happening. It kind of did have on a couple of ports. That's how Christianity spread, and then they got a little bit mad about that. And then the US of A got in here like it's swimwear, you know what I'm saying? But as I said, they did a lot of trades either way. Maybe my home village and a few neighboring ones won't be a problem. We get along well with them, but the southern tribes, we don't have warm relations with them, no pun intended. Juno tried to hide her tired expression from the visor and said in a calm voice. I thought she was gonna scream. We'll have to try. If it fails, I will try to make the vaccine the form of a gas and spray it all over the southern tribes, but there's a chance that its effect may be weaker. It would be better to take the vaccine internally, either by water or vaccine. Are you willing to help us? Juno and I looked at Lance, who still looked a little confused under his stern gazes. Of course, what kind of question is that? It's my planet. I'll do everything to save it. Great, then you both can rest for now, figure out what to say to the locusts, and I'll work on developing an antidote. Are you sure you don't want to rest at least for a bit? Juno shook her head and smiled softly at me. No time for that. No, woman! No, you better not get sick. I'll rest once we get this damn virus sorted out. I nodded, realizing that saving the planet was the priority right now. Lance and I walked out of the lab, leaving Juno to her work. She's gonna make it, right? Lance looked at his plan with sadness and apprehension. I put my hand on his shoulder, patting him gently. My man! Honestly, she's our best hope and best shot. If she can't do it, no one can. Did she help your planet? Lance looked at me hopefully. I just pressed my lips together. She did as much as she could. It satisfied Lance. Honestly, I'd be shitting my pants. You know, I'm like, that's not the stern answer. That's like a... it is what it is, you know. We tried hard, but it just tried our best. Our best was just not enough. Alright. All day long, Juno worked on the vaccine, practically never leaving the lab. Lance and I tried to stay out of her way, spending our time talking. In the morning, as Juno had promised, the vaccine was ready, which meant we could go down and begin a rescue operation. Lance got the vaccine first. Juno and I already had the antidote to the virus, and as soon as he took it, we took the jet down to the planet. The first stop on our way was the northernmost most remote village. Small house made of wood and brush huddled together in the snowdrifts. The locals were busy doing their own things. You know what I'm saying? Working, tending livestock, looking after children. Oh boy, back in our day with a farm, huh? Once in the village, the first thing Lance did was to strike the large gong hanging in the middle of the main square. The loud sound echoed throughout the settlement, causing the inhabitants to stop what they're doing. They're like, what the hell? What is this, Resident Evil? We gotta go to the church. The local elders were the first to show up, and Lance was the first to tell them what happened. After that, all the villagers were gathered in the square, staring at Juno and me with fear, surprise, and curiosity, whispering among themselves. It was lucky that the locals of Wire knew of the existence of alien life and had already encountered space travelers. Thanks to this, their reaction was far less extreme than it might have been. If it was like Brizzy's home planet, my man, they would be like, oh my god, it's the great disaster. Burn the witch. Juno and I tried to stay behind Lance, telling him what to say while he explained in simpler language to his kin what had happened. Of course, upon hearing the news about the terrible disease and the vaccine frightening the locals, they were distrustful of the story and became indignant, fearfully whispering among themselves. I knew it. Yeah, I was about to say, we gotta show proof. But will it be enough? Sometimes even if we had evidence, concrete facts, no cap, on God, dead ass, you're speaking 100% the truth, and only the truth, people won't believe you. They'd rather you'd say the most excusable thing and say, alright. Such proof convinced the elders, and they told the locals to listen to us and take the antidote. We spent several hours giving the vaccine to everyone, treating the livestock and pouring the antidote into the local wells. When the work was done, we were surrounded by a tight ring of locals, eager to talk, gaze at the sky travelers, and ask questions. But there was no time for that, homeboy. We gotta bounce. Next village, same pattern. Cool. It looks like it's working. The hardest ones were the settlements in the south. It was difficult to reach an agreement with those inhabitants. The elders, when they saw a representative of an unfriendly tribe, were reluctant to make contact and delayed negotiations. Yeah. Thank God they were gullible enough. If it was us humanities, they're like, nah. Or maybe we would agree as well. If it's like a fellow human, we're like a little bit distrustful, correct? It's like, oh no, and it's different country, you know. It's fucking lying. Otherwise, they're all like in the shared threat to help unite them. That's nice. Nice enough that, you know, they united them and they didn't like go full typical TV series, movie shows, and technically real life, you know, where people are like, nah, I don't trust my... Wait, no. Piccolo! The people have to know! No one's stopping you. 30-30. I don't like the government. 30-30. I don't like the government. 30-30. I don't know if anyone's a Dragon Ball fan here. Hey, I don't know if you reached this part of the video. 30-30. You made me wonder what Lance had been hiding from us all this time. He had been with us for almost a week without telling us about his life even once. I wondered who was waiting for him in the village, if anyone was waiting at all. But Lance had no time to meet his family. If he had any once in the settlement, he immediately went to the elder's house, discussing with him everything that had happened. Plot twist is actually a space traveler as well. That would be wild, and he's been stuck here for a long time. As expected, the locals believed Lance and were much quicker to listen to him than the other villagers. As soon as those in Lance's village finished taking the vaccine, we breathed a sigh of relief. We could finally head back to the ship and rest. Oh my god, it's a big W, a big win! It's actually nice here. Lance smiled crookedly. Yeah, it's a good village. Where do you live? I'd like to see your house. Do you have a family here? Or my questions was interrupted by a ringing childlike voice from somewhere in the crowd. Lance, we're back! A little girl very similar in appearance to Lance ran out of the crowd and immediately ran to him, clinging to his legs and hugging him tightly. Lance rose in place, placed his palm on the girl's head and tentatively stroked her hair. Hey, Yuki. We thought you were gone. Where have you been? What if he just wanted to bounce because he has a family? He's like, I need some space hose, you know, get me out of here. Why did it take you so long to come back? Mother thought you were dead. The girl started crying, sobbing loudly, hugging Lance. Jun and Wai watched in awkward silence, not knowing what to say or whether to intervene. I think I see what's happening here. It could be his burdened by responsibility. Or maybe not, I don't know. I'm fine, nobody ripped me apart, see? I'm alive and well. But where have you been? I was doing a very important job helping sky travelers with their mission. Yuki started mumbling something, sobbing and pressing her face into Lance's legs. She was small and short, and I could barely estimate her age. Just probably about somewhere 6 or 7 or in between. Before Yuki could calm down, more children came running out of the crowd, all of them of different ages but noticeably younger than Lance. 2 teenagers as tall as his chest and 1 little girl a little older than Yuki. They also rushed to hug Lance, crying and scolding him at the same time. Calm down, children, I'm fine. One of the teens apparently second in command after Lance pushed him in the chest, looking at Lance with eyes wet with tears. Jarl? Jarl. I am Jarl, from the village of Wire. Do you have any idea what you're doing? How could you do that? Our mom was going crazy. She asked the hunters to look for you and you were gone. Why didn't you come back and tell her you were leaving? How could you even have the guts to do that, Lance? Yeah, I just didn't have time for this, you know, that's all. You know how mom is, she's crazy. I realized that what I did was wrong, but, you know, it's gonna be a yapping contest. You're so stupid! She sobs again. Please don't fight. God's right, Lance. It was awful. Gargo. More like Gargo, you know what I'm saying? We went out for firewood and disappeared for 7 days. Guys, I get it. I'm telling you, there was no time, and at that moment, a woman with a tired, crying face came out of the crowd. It's the mother. The woman took a few steps towards him. The children around Lance immediately moved away, and the woman came face to face with Lance and slapped him. Juno and I flinched at that action, not expecting it and watching it with open mouths. I like Juno, man. She's like really... She has a lot of expressions. An expressful person. Protogen. Lance didn't even flinch, lowering his head in shame, and then the woman immediately grabbed him in a tight embrace, sobbing on his shoulder. Mom, I'm sorry. It just happened. I know it's my fault that I did everything wrong. Lance stroked the woman's back as she continued to sob, clutching him in her arms. I mean, I would just watch in silence because it's not our business to intervene. Honestly, it gets too violent, you know. Finally, everyone calmed down. The woman wiped away her tears. I want to introduce you to my new friends. Hey, hello. Hi. These are my friends, Juno and Brizzy. They are sky travelers. Juno is a Protogen and Brizzy is a human, quote unquote. Guys, this is my mom, Lila Ray. My brothers are Yarl and Gargo, and my sisters are Shally and Yuki. It's a pleasure to meet you all. It's nice to meet you. The woman, Lila Ray, finally wiped away her tears. Hello, dear travelers. You can just call me Ray. Thank you for saving us. Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Hey, where's your fur? Do you even have any? Yes, down there. Whoa, pause. Alright, I'm gonna end this video right here. We're 40 minutes in. I'm a bit tired, everyone. Next video, we do 40 minutes again. Take one of those one-time things, right? If it's like I only upload this once or twice a week, I'll do 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Thank you for watching, everyone. Hopefully you have a wonderful day or night. I don't know. Sweet dreams, I guess. Sleep. Daydreaming or night dreaming? I don't know. You do you. Bye.